I'm talking with Dave Slover this morning, who ranches within the Gooseberry and No Water Creek watersheds. Dave has implemented many best management practices over the past 17 years, including developing water for livestock and wildlife using pipelines, PV solar. Dave also has been involved with a massive eradication of Russian olive and tamarisk along Gooseberry Creek. Dave, tell us a little bit about how you got started and what prompted you to be involved with some of these practices.
The game and fish wildlife habitat specialists came to a group of us on Gooseberry Creek along with the Washakie County Weed and Pest and started talking about eradicating these Russian olives and salt cedars. Explained to us how much water they were taking out of the watershed. In our best interest as ranchers and as stewards of the land to basically to get rid of them. After visiting with some of my neighbors, it just looked like the thing to do. It was going to be better for our operation, for our ranch, and better for the creek. 2004, we fenced off the creek bottom, sprayed some trees, got a little dozer to come in and buck the trees up, and it's just been amazing, the transformation, what's happened. We really haven't seeded any grasses back. It's all been natural. There's just a lot of rhizomatous grasses on the creek and sedges that have stabilized the banks. We have tried some jet stinger pole seedings with varying success. They seem to take off the first year, and I'm not just sure if they don't make it or if the deer just hammer on them enough that they don't stand a chance after the deer eat the leaves off of them. The thing that's been instrumental for this program to work on the creek is basically fencing off the creek bottom and not allowing livestock grazing. Not that I'm particularly for fencing cattle off of places, but in this particular instance, to get the the creek bottom to come back, it's been a big benefit. With that said, we look at it as when this project's done, we're looking at using our creek bottom pasture as kind of a grass bank, if you will, for if we run out of hay some year and need pasture for a month, or we have a drought year and just need an extra pasture to run some cows to get us by. Honestly, I don't plan on using those pastures in the spring or early summer. Just I've seen how much the creek has come back and how much it's benefited, and I just don't want to take that away from it. We have seen an increase in water quantity by removing the trees, which has definitely been beneficial for the creek. It keeps the banks wet all summer, so when people stop irrigating later on in the fall and it cools down and we get some fall moisture and the creek starts running again, it doesn't have to saturate its banks for that water to get down to the lower end of the creek. It just comes on down. What little fish we have in the creek, will survive through the year, and obviously having the water makes good habitat for the wildlife we have there. Something that's interesting, and this might be controversial to some wildlife biologists, some people are of the belief that the pheasants are going to suffer if you take away the Russian olives. It's been quite the opposite in my case. I have people from town come out and they just say it's the best pheasant hunting around. And when I say town, I mean the river bottom in Worland, where they grow barley and corn and things like that you'd think would be outstanding pheasant hunting. Now they come up to the creek where we've got grasses and hay meadows and no Russian olives, and we've got a tremendous amount of pheasants out there now. A few years ago, we did a stock water line on a BLM permit that we have, and we were partners with the Washakie County Conservation District, the Sage Grouse Working Group, the Wildlife Trust Fund, the Mule Deer Foundation, and Water for Wildlife, along with Gooseberry Creek Ranch. We all pitched in and made it a group effort and put in 10.5 miles of pipeline and 3 BLM pastures that were limited in water availability. We were just trying to get the cows up kind of on some benches and away from the few reliable water sources that were in these pastures, and just really trying to, if you will, kind of stay ahead of the 8 ball. There's just, the way the environmental groups are and suing and stuff like that and having lawsuits, especially on BLM and Forest Service permits. We just wanted to have some best management practices in place. So we thought this water line and our monitoring that we're doing were going to put us in a pretty good position in case something ever, came to us.